So we have to draw the ball cap, and we only really have to draw half of the ball cap. So we just need to draw the outline of the top half of it. Oh. So we'll draw the outline of the top half of the ball cap, and it's something like this. All right, so we will start with the 3 1/4 and the 2 1/8, the overall dimensions. So I'll go ahead and I'll start with a construction line in the middle and a top line that's 3 1/4 away. So here's my construction line in the middle. And I'll draw another line that is, let's see, up here, I think it was, let's just line it up with the end there. And it was supposed to be 3 1/4 away. All right. I can connect the end here. I know it's supposed to be square. And let's put a dimension on that. How tall is... Oh, we already did that. What am I doing? I need to put the length of this thing on here, the total length. So let's check back. 2 1/8. So the total length of this thing is 2 1/8 long. I'm actually not going to dimension this line. I'm going to just float one out here. And I will put a dimension on it from this line to this line, 2 1/8. So I'll move just a little bit. Then there was an angle. It kind of came up at an angle like this. And I'll trim this extra piece off here. There it is. And I don't really know what that angle is, but I know what this line dimension right here is. It is 5/8. So I'll go ahead and dimension this to 5/8. There it is. And the width of this line right here is 2 5/8 diameter. So I'm going to come back and I can dimension the point to the construction line and then down and make that 2 5/8 diameter. 2 5/8. There it is. Look at that. Now I need to make it's going to be the drills. So drills kind of come in and they go down at about 30 degrees from vertical. So I'll come over here and I'll just click as a guess, something like that, and we'll close it up. Now all I have to do is just do some finalizing dimensions on this thing. So the drill is 1 13/16 to the inside line here. So I'm going to come to this point, come down here, and I will do 1 13/16, doing the whole solid line, dimension line, dragging down to a phantom diameter is a really handy technique. All right, so we'll come here and we'll come here, and we want 90 plus 30, so 120. And so we'll shift it to 120 degrees, 120 degrees. And we need probably another dimension in here for the depth. 1 1/16 deep. So I'll come over here and we'll add a dimension right there. 1 1/16. There it is. Okay. I can do the fillets on the corners here after it's 3D, so I'll just go ahead and accept this, and I will do my revolve. I'll revolve the object around the center axis or center of tiny line right there, and I'll accept that. And then I can put a fillet on the outside edge of 1/16, I think it was. And then a fillet. We'll accept that fillet. There it is. And then I think a fillet goes on this top edge here of 1/8. There we go. And so we got that. That's 1/8. Yep. That's 1/16. We're good. I think that's all we need. Let's take a look at the inside. Looks like it got a drill. There's a drill point there. Okay. Now we have to do the points. And so the points are on the left face here on this thing if we turn it towards the left. And they are going to be offset from the center. So what I might do is I might offset this front plane. I'll make a new plane and I'll offset it just a little bit. So we'll come here, we'll make a new plane, and I'll offset it by 3/16. And the reason I'm offsetting it by 3/16 is because from the center of the object to the center line of the little spikes, it's 3/16 distance. And I want to put all the spikes on this line in the correct position, just make it a little bit easier for me. All right, I'll come back over here, and now I will turn off my front plane. So plane 2 is only showing. It's a little bit easier to see, and that's that 13 or the 3/16 offset. I can always come back and change it if I mess that one up, and I'll do a sketch on plane 2. So new sketch. We'll view normal. And I am going to come down here and I have to draw half of one of these triangles. So let me zoom in on one of these guys. Let's bring this over to the left here and up a little bit. All right, so they are 1/8 inch tall. They are at 90, the points are at 90 degrees. So that's pretty much all I need. So half of it would still be 1/8 inch tall, but it would be at 45 degrees, and the line here would be horizontal. So let's come here and let's just draw a horizontal line, and I can see the horizontal constraint, that little dash down to the bottom right of my cursor. I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll go a little bit below the surface. I'll come up with a vertical line, and then I'll come over and I'll close that. I'll dimension this angle to 45 degrees. There it is. And I'll dimension the height by going to the origin, not necessarily the line, but I'm going to go to the origin, the dot, and this dot right here, and I'll bring my measurement down. And I'll say it's only got to be 1/8 inch above the surface. And now I want how far up. So we've got it 1/8 inch above the surface here. And how far up from my center point? Well, it's half of this 3/8, so it's another 3/16 up to get to that location. So I go up 3/16. So I'm trying to get this in the right spot. So I'll go ahead and accept that. So I got this little triangle, and I'm going to revolve it. I'm going to revolve this little triangle on the bottom line of the axis, and I'm not going to add it to my drawing. I'm going to make it new because I'm going to have to make copies of this thing. So I'm going to have this new part that I can change, and I can rotate around and see that it's in the right spot. It's 3/16 over from that center point, and because it's on this plane that I offset. Now I can go ahead and I can turn off the plane that we made before and turn on the front plane again. So things are kind of back to normal. And now I'm going to do a linear pattern and make this thing multiply. So let's view normal 2. It should be 3/16 up, 3/16 over because of the offsetting of my plane and where my sketch was located. Now I can do a linear pattern. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to linear pattern this in the direction. Now when you select direction, it's almost like mirror line. I'm going to click this horizontal plane, and you can see that it appears up there. I can flip it to the other side. It's almost like a line for a mirror, like if I wanted it to appear down here. Now the distance away should be 3/8. There it is. I'm going to accept that. Now I am going to click this one and hold down Shift and select the second one, and I'm going to do my linear pattern again. This time I'm going to linear pattern them. I'm going to reverse it the opposite direction, linear pattern them below. And you would think if I just did 3/8 away, that's not it. It's double 3/8. So it's 3/4 away. Because we're going from this original one up here, 3/8, and then 3/4 for the new one. So this is the pattern for the base pattern for our block. I'm going to go ahead and accept this. Let's just double check. There's 4 here separated by 3/8. Looks good. We've got another set of 4 3/8 away next to it. So I'm going to try to get this pattern here. So let's go over here. I'm going to turn off part 5, my cap. It'll make it easier to select. So I just draw a window crossing those, make sure they're all highlighted. Then I'll do my linear pattern. And I know I would want to kind of mirror them over. I'm going to mirror them over here, and I'm going to have them be 3/8 away. And we've got to make sure we choose the correct side that they're on. I want them actually over on this side. I'm going to, there's a couple things I could do. I can make the whole entire center pattern, or I could make the pattern up above. I might as well just make the pattern up above. I'll go through here and I'll select these two, draw a window, and I'll make a linear pattern. The direction is up above, and I'll reverse it here and zoom out. Where the heck did they go? Did they not show up? Oh, I didn't choose my direction. There we go. Alright, so, whoops. That's bad. Well, I'll get reoriented here on the right side view, actually left view. And now we want the distance of 3/4 for those, I think. Yep, it's 3/4 up to this little set of 2 over here. And then 3/4 down for this other set of 2. So I'll do that twice. So we've got this. Draw a box around these. Linear pattern. Direction. This horizontal line. And flip. See where they show up. There they are. And 3/4. And now, do it again. This time I'll do a linear pattern, but I want this to be on the other side, so I'll go to the vertical, and it kind of shows up that way, and I'll go 3/4. Now all I have to do is select everything, do a linear pattern, click this vertical line, almost like a mirror. Flip to the other side. There it is. And let's try 3/8 and see what happens. Ooh, let's try 3/4. See what happens. Ooh, did I forget this group over here? Let's cancel this out. Hold on now. You know what might be easier is just to mirror it. Let's do a mirror. Mirror this. Mirror plane's going to be This one. There it is. Cool. There they all are. Now the reason I had them in the part, I'm going to show it. Again by clicking the eyeball. The reason I had them in the part is because I'm going to fuse them all together. Look at all these little dots I've got. All these little parts on the left-hand side. A ton of parts. I'm going to just take this whole thing, draw a box around it, highlight the whole thing, select all of them, and Boolean union them together, fuse them together. So they all fuse into one part again. There it is. So now, here are all the steps I did, all the linear patterns. And I can make a new folder called the ball cap. And let's see, the ball cap is probably in here somewhere, probably at the bottom. So I'll take all these steps, hold down shift and click, take all those steps and drag and drop them into the ball cap. Make sure it's surrounded by a blue box. Drop it in. There it is. There's the ball cap. Part 5. Let's rename this dude ball cap. Now I have got all my parts ready to rock and roll. Okay, now we got to put some holes in the cap for our groove pins. So to do this, one of the easiest ways is to go to our original sketch for our ball cap, to create a point object on the ball cap, not at the midpoint, but down the row a little bit. Just put a little point there and put a dimension on it. And that will mark where the center of the hole should be. And it looks like on our drawing that it is 7/16 to the center of the hole. So we will dimension this to 7/16. There it is. We're going to make the sketch visible. And now I am going to create a plane through that point. So we'll go plane point. To make a plane point, a new plane using plane point, we need to select the point we want the plane to go through, and then a plane that's parallel to it. So we'll click this, that's parallel to it. And you'll see a plane show up parallel and through the point that we chose. I'll go ahead and accept this. Now we're going to make a sketch on this plane. So that dot right there is on this plane. We can make a circle right on there. So I will right click it. I'll do a new sketch. I'll do view normal to the sketch plane. And we'll draw a circle using that dot. And we'll dimension it. And I think the holes are, let me zoom out here. The size of the pins, 1/4 inch. It's a 1/4 inch diameter. So we'll do 0.25 or 1/4. There it is. We'll accept that. And now we are going to do an extrude right here. And this is going to act as our drill. I'll do it symmetrical. So it goes both directions. I want it to go all the way through the bottom there. There it is. And I'm actually going to, before I do this, I'm going to make this new. Because I have to do this several more times. 2 more times. So I'm just going to keep this one right here. And I am going to do a circular pattern to this pin. The axis of the pattern is going to be the center line right here, and the entities will be 3. And I'll click OK. Now we can use those to drill the holes doing a Boolean operation. Click Boolean. The tools are going to be these cylinders and I want it to be a subtraction. The target is going to be the cap itself. And so you can see that they kind of go faint. This is very similar to another drawing we did, and there are holes being drilled in them. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. So now we got our holes in our cap, and our cap is 100% done.